I am Valeria Maritza at Healing Through You. I am an infinite being of light, and so are you. Today I want to talk to all people or souls out there about feeling afraid of showing up and believing and welcoming our gifts. Because it is such a powerful topic that just dropped in today. My guy said this is what we need to talk about. There are so many people out there who are seeing things, feeling things, knowing things, and the go-to thought is there's something wrong with me, or this is scary, or I'm crazy, I'm going crazy. This is a really big one. People thinking that they're crazy because they're seeing things or feeling them or hearing them, all of those clearance, right? So when you are open enough that you're connecting to your gifts, whether you want them or not, whether you're consciously doing it or not, when this begins to happen and you have no idea why it's happening, it's because your soul is ready. It's ready to embrace them. It's ready to perceive them. It's ready to bring them back and remember who you truly are. And so this happens so often when people are waking up, they're coming into their awareness, they're awakening, and they don't know what's happening, and it's scary. It's so scary because it's unknown. Not only is it unknown, but most of the time, it is unknown to the people that surround us. And so we feel super alone and scared that if we speak up about what we are experiencing, that we are going to be seen as crazy, or something's wrong with us, or you need help, like that type of stuff, right? And this happens to most people. I mean, some lucky people are very lucky to have the support in their partner, in their family, where other people in the family are also aware or awoken, and they have more of a background, or they at least believe in it. And so when one person awakens and begins to feel the feels, they have someone there to be like, oh yeah, I heard about that, or tell me more, and be genuinely interested in helping you reflect what you're feeling without feeling alone and crazy. But most people do not have this. Most people feel truly alone in their own awakening, where they feel that there's no one really around that they can share their feelings and their experiences without being seen as different, and different in a bad way, not different in a good way. Now, let me just reassure you that it is being different in a good way, but we tend to awaken in areas of the world, of our circles, where we happen to be the only one, or one of the very, very few. And this happens on purpose. It happens on purpose because every single person that wakes up, every single person that begins to embrace their gifts and embrace who they are, and tune into other realms that are not the three-dimensional physical realms that we know about, or that we have been raised with, what happens is that once you begin to do this, everyone around you begins to benefit from you and from your awareness. So as you become more aware, and as you begin to accept it, as you begin to lean into it, as you begin to remember, or to study more, or to surrender into what you are feeling, your light begins to expand. You begin to shine brighter. And as you shine brighter, you also shine further. And your light, this is your inner light, touches everyone around you, because we are all energy. Your energy, your light, your energy light reaches further and stronger, and so everyone around you begins to become curious, or begins to come into the awareness themselves, or begins to notice things that they hadn't before. And this all happens because of you. So this is why a lot of people ask me this: why is it that I'm coming into my awareness, or this is just so hard because people don't believe in me, or I feel so afraid, and people are dropping off like flies from my field. They're leaving me because of who I am becoming. This is so common But at the same time, what you're doing is you're enlightening them and you are helping them become more aware. So the people who fall off your field, once you begin to embrace who you are and remember who you are and your gifts and all of this, those are the people who are not ready. They are not ready to remember who they are. So they're not leaving you because they think you're crazy or you no longer resonate. Well, actually, yeah, you don't no longer resonate, so they do leave. But there's nothing that you have done in the negative. It is just that they are not ready to see it. They are not ready to embrace themselves. They are not ready to welcome this new part of them, because you are and they are each other's reflections, right? So as you become aware and you're shining your light on someone and that someone is not ready, they're going to want to turn around and go away and not see you anymore because it's too scary for them, and that's okay. So we let them go with love. We let them go with love because this is scary. This is hard. This is something that is very different, and no one can choose this or make someone do it. We have to become aware of this on our own. We have to choose this on our own. And so when we are the light and we're shining it and we like really embracing it, we want to tell the whole world about it, and the whole world usually begins with your circle of friends and family. And if your friends and families are not there, they're not ready to embrace it, they're going to leave you, or they're going to make you feel as if you're doing something wrong or you're doing something bad, right? And this is how they're going to leave, and it's okay. Let them go for two reasons. Number one, we do not want to make someone do it. We do not want to make someone awake, right? You can't do that. They have to want to decide to do it and come into it themselves. Number two, the more you push it, the more they resist. And therefore, you're not helping them become more aware. You're not helping them understand this more or remember who they are by pushing the subject upon someone who is not ready. So they're just going to block it, shut it down even more, and go further away from you and anyone else who may be shining the light. So that doesn't help, okay? Here's another point. As they leave your area, your field of frequency, your energy field, for lack of a better way of explaining this right now, as they are leaving, you are creating space within your field to attract others who are in the same situation as you or have gone through the same situation as you. So that would be someone who's just as scared as you, just as new as you at doing this, and those who have gone through this and can actually help you because they have gone through it and they can pull you up. These are the mentors. These are the mentors and the teachers in the spirituality. So that it's a good thing when people fall off. It feels hard. It feels heartbreaking. It feels as if you're all alone at the beginning when it's happening, because it is, right? It's a human part. It's okay. Feel the feels. Don't deny these things. Allow it to be. But also at the same time, know that it is for a good cause and a good reason. It is for your own expansion. You are continuing to expand. Once you become aware, you cannot turn back. You cannot be like, you know what, yeah, I think I'm just going to go back to the way I was and not go into that direction. You can't do it. Once you cannot unsee what you have seen, right? And so once you're on the path, you just have to keep going, and you have to trust that everything that you're seeing, feeling, and every place that you're moving into is going to bring you to a better place for you and for everyone around you. So being afraid of your gifts as you're feeling them, knowing them, and being afraid to speak about them, right? It's a really big thing. A lot of people just shut them down because they don't know what it is and they have no one to talk to. So this is where we come in, guys. This is where you come in. By allowing people to know who you are. I know it's scary if you haven't done it yet, but allowing people to know who you are, what you do, what you see, what your story is like, what you went through, other people can hear it and see themselves in you. And then that's that little link of like, oh, maybe they can help me. And then you can, right? You can help them by telling them your story, by having them be validated of what they're seeing, right? By letting them know that they're not crazy, that this is actually them waking up, this is a really important part, because as you're shining your light, other people who are in hiding and being so scared of their own gifts will hear you, and then you will be that little link that's going to help them reach out and see what else is there. How can I empower myself? How can I lean into my gifts instead of push them away or hide from them, right? And it might be that you are just the one person that can literally help them, or you might be the link for them to be curious enough to begin doing more search and more looking around, and then finding the proper teacher for them. See, it's not all about you being the exact person who is teaching others how to do things. It is about becoming aware and holding space for them so that they, in fact, can grow and expand their own energy and choose where to go from there. So they can choose to, like, okay, this resonates with me, and they might be still too scared to reach out to you, but you might be the one that is inspiring them to do some Google search on what you're talking about or what they're feeling, that's going to bring them to more information, deeper down that rabbit hole, and find more information that is geared towards them. So don't believe for a second that you speaking, you being seen, you telling your story, and perhaps you don't see anyone coming to you for help. Don't think for a second that it's not helping others, because the fact that you are sharing your story and you are speaking about it is helping people that you may never even know that you're actually helping. Because a lot of people are just really shy, and they're really scared to talk with someone that they kind of know, even if they only know you through online. They're kind of scared. So it's up to them to do the search, to look for other guys, to look for other teachers that are resonating with them, that are less scary to them. Less scary in the form of, I found them and they don't know me, right? Like this whole sense of being anonymous, of not being known in any way, right? Like just like a simple person all the way across the world to this other simple person or across the other side of the world, and I'm reaching out for help from them. So allow yourself to lean into your power, your gifts, your knowing, and just share it, because this is how you spread the light. Now, if you are on the part where you're just listening and you're feeling scared and you don't want to reach into your knowing, into the deepest pockets of your soul, you don't want to do that yet because it's still scary, and scary most likely happens because of some type of teaching that you have lived through all of your life, such as some type of religious background, of upbringing, of you are separate, you are insignificant, you are the sinner, and no one is worthy except for the Creator, and you're completely separate from them, right? So these are most of the teachers that create this separateness from you and the divine being that you are, which for a lot of people is like, that's too much, I'm not worthy of being that grand. And I understand that, I was there as well. But it is all about unlearning what you've learned and leaning more into that knowing that you feel deep inside of you, in your gut feeling, your intuition, right? Because you know who you are, you remember. It's just that your mind is so busy talking to you and giving you all of the stories that you have grown up with, that you have been fed throughout your entire life, that it's difficult to tune into yourself, to really lean into what feels true for you. If you're listening to this at all, or anyone like me, then you know what I'm talking about, because you wouldn't be here if there wasn't something else, a knowing inside of you that tells you that this isn't what you have been told isn't quite right. I knew this since I was a child. I remember very, very, very young, being at a church. I've told this story before, and the church was like brimming, full. And people were standing in the aisles everywhere, and there's this mother with a couple of children, and the baby started to cry and wail in the middle of the sermon, and the priest literally asked this woman to leave because the child was messing up his sermon. And I remember feeling the shame, the guilt of this woman as she's walking out. I'm thinking, how can that be? How can that be that this person is embarrassing this woman because the baby is crying? It's like saying, like, you're a bad mother, that you can't control your child. Like, this is what I felt. This is the shame that I felt. I'm not saying that this is what she felt, but this is what I felt as a child for her. And so I remember feeling this and feeling, that's not right. Jesus would never do that. Jesus loved kids, right? And I know that you have had experiences that are similar to that, where your inside, your gut feeling tells you this is not right. And then immediately your head comes in, your ego comes in and says, that's right, because they're messing up and I can't hear. And you're agreeing with the one who's doing the thing that you know is not right. Does that make sense? This happens all the time. We are so conditioned to agree with whomever is in front of us as the form of authority, and we tend to give our power away to whomever it is that's speaking, instead of leaning into what we know is true for us, that's coming from within. This happens all the time, guys, to all of us. It happens to me all the time. All right. So if you are one of the people who are leaning into things, you're feeling things, you're knowing things, you're noticing the numbers or the repetition of numbers, like just by doing this podcast right here as I was recording, I felt the need to look down on it at 11:11, then it was 12:12, then it was like 13:33. I'm like, okay, yeah, thank you guys, like letting me know that they're here with me, supporting me. These are all signs that you're being supported, that you're not alone, that they're listening to you, that they're guiding you, that you're in the right place, right? So if you're seeing things like that, you're noticing things, you're noticing synchronicities, you're feeling things that other people are feeling, perhaps. Maybe you're seeing entities, maybe you're seeing figures or shadows or ghosts, or whatever you want to call them. Maybe you're seeing these things and they're scaring you. Know that there's nothing to be afraid of. And I cannot explain all of that in this short podcast because there's so much to go into that. I know you may have questions about it if you are seeing things and you're afraid of them. And I'll record on this for Thursday. But it is really, really important for you to find someone that can help you. Lean into it without fear. See what it is that you really want to do and that you really are feeling inside without fear. You're feeling things, you're seeing things, you're awakening for a reason. And the reason is that you're ready. You're ready to embrace it. You wouldn't be feeling the things, seeing the things, if you weren't ready. You might need some support. You might need someone to help you and to bring you up and to give you that hand and say, yes, you are right. No, you're not crazy. All of those things. You might need that. And that's okay. I needed that. I didn't know. I mean, I had many instances in which I was tapping into other realms and I didn't know it or didn't acknowledge it, and I had no idea what it was. And it wasn't until I got someone to help me and support me that I realized what was happening. I didn't know. I didn't put it together. It's like having the whole pieces of a puzzle all over the place and you're playing with them, and it's not until like you get the support of someone telling you, okay, so the pieces, you're supposed to make them match until it creates one full picture. And you're like, oh, I didn't know this all these years. I was just playing with pieces, like doing different things, right? So it's like that. It's like it doesn't make sense to you until someone lets you know how it makes sense, and then you can put it together. It's like you have all the answers right there, but you don't know what to do with them. It's okay if you're feeling afraid of your gifts and you don't know what to do with them. Know that you're not alone. Know that we all go through this. Know that it's because you're ready. And if you really want to lean into it and open them up and lean into them and no longer be afraid of them, so you can use them for your own good and the good of others, then seek help. Now, that's not the only way of doing it, but it is the easiest way, because it's much easier to have someone who's been there, done that, teach you the ropes, than you needing to go through it and take all of the trial and errors, right? I've gone through a lot of trials and errors, guys, and in my particular work, that's what I do. I collapse your time, because it's like I'm telling you this was gonna happen, so this is what you do instead, and people are like, oh, okay, great. It's a good thing you told me, because that's what was happening. So it's like I stop that cycle of trial and error, because I'm telling you what happens. But a lot of other people do this as well. Another way that you can do this is turn off the noise. And by turning off the noise, what I mean is meditate. Just go quiet. Just go quiet and allow yourself to be present in the moment with yourself. You can do some breath work, or you can concentrate on the breath, right? Because whenever you sit down to do some type of meditation, the monkey mind keeps going. I need to do this, I need to do that. Oh, I'm sleeping, let me do that. And then you forget what you're doing, and then you get up and you're, oh, wait a second, I was meditating. All of these things happens. I've done it myself, so I know. Just being in the moment. Breathe in, breathe out, concentrate on breathing in and out. Maybe you want to do it for a count of 4 in, hold 4 out, and repeat. And because you're thinking or putting your mind to counting the breaths, you're being in the moment. And that's going to bring you back to remembering who you are. And the more you do it, the more you're present, the more you're going to remember who you are, and you're going to open up the gates to your remembrance, to your gifts, to your knowing, so that you understand and know what the purpose of them are, right? Everyone has gifts. Everyone. It's not something that only some people are lucky enough to have them, or unlucky for some of you who might think it's not a blessing, but it is. Everybody has them. And if you're becoming aware of them, or if you're already awoken and you are refusing them, it's not doing anyone any good. They are coming up to the awareness for you so that you can use them and share them. It is all about loving them and sharing them, because the more you share, the more that you help raise the frequency of the planet. And the more that you raise the frequency of the planet, the more love there is in the planet. The more love there is in the planet, the more expansion there is in the planet. The more expansion there is in the planet, what happens? The things that used to happen before can no longer happen anymore, because there's too much light shining the light on it. So, for example, you guys may have heard about somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, who was doing all of this sexual harassment in the industries for actors and actresses, I should say. And this was covered. It was covered. Everybody knew about it. No one talked about it. Why is it out to the light now? Why has it come out? It came out because there was too much light. There's so much light. The light is shining upon it. There's so many more people thinking and feeling the same way that it can no longer hide. This is exactly what happens with anything and everything. There's so much more darkness that needs to be illuminated. There's so much more darkness that will be illuminated, because you are doing the work, because we, the light workers, are doing the work, and we're shining more light. We're expanding our light. We are holding our light. And by doing that, the collective of the earth, everyone on the earth, the frequency rises and more light shines. And then the things that have been covered and covered and covered for years and years and years can no longer stay that way. They have to come to the light. They have to be shown. And things are going to go down, people. Just letting you know. And this is because of the amount of people who are doing the work, the amount of light that is being shown. So if you are one of these people who's holding back your gifts, or who's afraid of them, it's time to let go and lean into your gifts. It is the time. It's only showing itself for you for the reason of you being part of the change, of the light. Okay? Reach out if you need support. Look out. Look out. Anything that you're experiencing, look it up on Google, right? Do any searches on Google, like whatever you're feeling, seeing, or experiencing. Just do a Google search and see what you get, and then go to the links that feel that are pulling to you, that are like, oh, that resonates with me. Oh, that makes sense. This is exactly what I was feeling. All of that. Do your research. Do some research, because It is when you get some type of validation, whether it's a live person that you know that's giving you advice or something that you're reading, right? That gives you validation, some spiritual book or person, right? That you follow or that you begin to become aware of. That's where you begin to lean into your own gifts without the thought or feeling that there's something wrong with you. All right, guys, with that, I hope that this has helped you. Let me know. Please like the show and share so other people can get the messages that you are receiving here if you are finding value on them. I love you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.